I'm going to talk to you folks today about, within Intel IT, what we are doing to support virtualization, or how we are enabling workspace portability with virtualization. So the presentation is hosted by Intel, but I'm from Intel IT, and what we're going to share over here are best practices and things that we are doing within Intel to support our consumers, our users, our enterprise users. So now, some legal notices that we have to go through, just so quickly read through them. Just one, to set expectations. We have different, we use different tools and different products. I'm not going to specify any of them, so please don't ask. I'm not going to specify any what we use. We have a third party. We develop some internally. We're going to talk on the best practices that we do within Intel IT. Okay, so from an agenda perspective, what I'll be reviewing with you folks is, first of all, who we are within Intel IT, what we do within Intel IT, what is our TAM. I'll touch on the different trends and influences that we see within an enterprise IT shop. Some of it might be you guys are aware of it, y'all are seeing it in your IT shops or wherever services y'all are providing to. We then look at virtualization as an enabler to resolve some of these issues or problems that are coming up because of the different trends. We'll then talk on virtualization also as an enabler to secure the client. And we'll see how we can use the different components of virtualization to add or enhance security within the client, within the different devices that we are talking about, and we'll touch on that later on. One thing that is very core to us within IT, within an enterprise IT shop, is that the user experience we provide. So I'll talk on the principles. What are the principles that we are using when we provide solutions to our customers, and how it impacts the solutions, the tool sets that we are providing. So at the end, we'll go through Q&A, so we'll have time for Q&A. And lastly, there's going to be a quiz and prizes. So pay attention, and the quiz will be from the slide deck, so nothing. So if you guys are not sleeping, then y'all could win a nice SSD. Okay, so who are we? We are the client engineering team within Intel IT. We provide client solution, emerging client solutions to all our enterprise users. So what I'm talking about is giving technologies and tool sets across all the different devices that we have, across all the different clients that we have. And from a TAM perspective, we're talking over 100,000 PCs, laptops, PCs, desktops. We're talking about approximately 30,000 smart devices, different types of phones that's in the environment, and tablets as well. So we have a widespread TAM where we're giving different types of solutions to our customers. And mainly in the field for this presentation, I'm going to talk on, we give tool sets like OS virtualization, application virtualization, data virtualization, how we enable bring your own devices in our environment, and also ultrabooks. So these are all the different tool sets, client solutions that we provide to our enterprise customers to be productive. The aim is to be productive and also to give them services that are simple to use, to get the right set of data, to get the right set of application at the right time, anywhere. So that's where I'm from. I'm a senior system engineer within this organization and developing some of the solutions that we are providing to our customers. Okay, moving on to what are the trends that are impacting the IT shop today. Any enterprise IT shop today is facing the same type of trends and influences that we see today. What I have over here is a day in the life of a corporate user within Intel, how we see it within Intel, a day of a life of a corporate user. And I think this could be used in any corporate environment. We have over here in the yellow line, we have the traditional day in the life of a user, which depicts the work-life balance. So maybe in the morning, the user does some email at home over his laptop. He goes into work, depends which country, 8 or 9. I think over here it's 9. And then does most of his work in the office, and then goes home and maybe continues to do some more work at home. So that's the traditional work-life balance, office, home, and taking his laptop or PC with him back and doing some more work. What we see, the new enterprise user, the peaks where he wants that flexibility to do his work from anywhere at any time so that he has a good work-life balance. If he's merging his work with his personal life or his personal life with his work, we see that as something that our enterprise users are requesting and asking. They want to be flexible to use any device they want, to use it anywhere they want, and to get the right set of services that will help them to be productive in their work. So this is basically the problem that we are trying to solve internally within our organization on how we can make our customers productive from anywhere at any time using any type of device. That flexibility is utterly important for them. So what are the trends and influence? In the previous model, every user had a single device, either a laptop or a desktop. And IT shops were working to reduce the TCO of that environment, of that workspace. Today, it's become much more complex. We go from a single device to single user ratio to a single user to many device ratio. The user wants to use different types of devices. Not only they want to use different types of devices, some of those devices are not even managed or owned by the corporate environment. They're the bring your own devices, the consumerization, all the different nice words that we have to state on the user trying to bring in different devices and utilizing corporate resources from the environment. Now, this also creates a shift between, do we manage the endpoint? Till now, we continue managing the endpoints. We need to make a shift from instead of managing the endpoint, to manage the service, to provide the right set of services which consist of application, data, in a container approach model, and manage the service. And lastly, also, we need to also understand that the influence that's happening is more security risks in the environment, and also aspects that we have to deal with, privacy and compliance. People are bringing in their own devices. We need to respect that privacy. We need to understand that. And that is having a big influence on the type of solutions or what we can do from providing different services to these devices. So what does it translate to? On one hand, we have a tension, an ongoing tension between users and the IT shop and the enterprise IT shop. I think Brian yesterday called this aspect the FUIT concept, that they want flexibility, they want freedom, they'll do it anyhow. They'll go and find a solution to get the service on the device that they have. So they want anywhere access, anytime, any device they would like to use. On the other hand, IT, as an IT shop, we want to ensure the security, we want to ensure the standardization, the manageability, and this tension is always happening between the end user and the IT shop. And as we understand this tension, we are trying to see if there are any solutions, any technologies that we could use that could elevate this problem? Can we use any technology that can look at these tensions and provide and ensure that we still keep the security, the standardization, the manageability, but also enable our customers with new devices, new services, so that they don't have to go and open their own IT shops? How does this translate to the impact on the client computing world? If before we were doing a single device management per user, now we have to start managing multiple devices. We have to, as I said previously, we have to also ensure that the compliance and regulatory needs are met based on each country that people come from. We have to ensure that we meet those regulatory compliances. We need to understand that the user is owning the device. It's not anymore an IT-owned device. We cannot go and say, okay, if you want the service, we'll wipe out everything you have and put something that we put on. We have to understand that and take that as a factor into an account of the solutions that we provide. Lastly, the solutions that we provide need to be easy to be consumed, easy to be used. We cannot go and put a clunky desktop on a telephone, on a smartphone. We have to provide the right set of solutions that will be easy to use and based on the device capabilities. So if we go across the spectrum of device, we have to understand that and ensure that the solutions that we have meets or is easy to use on every device. Okay, so understanding the problem statement, understanding where we are, what is causing the issues, what are the issues within the environment. We are looking at client virtualization, and I'm calling it client virtualization. I'm not calling it OS virtualization or anything. I'm calling it client virtualization. We're looking at it as an enabler to meet and help elevate those tensions that we have seen between the IT shop and the users. And when we talk about virtualization, we are in fact talking about the abstraction or the layering of the different components on the client workspace. It's important that I'm saying the client workspace because it depends on what device you use, and based on that, abstract the level of the different components and give that accordingly to the workspace. So if we can abstract the components out from the client workspace, we have a greater flexibility to provide newer solutions, faster solutions to our customers. It also helps us to increase the granularity of control. We are now managing a component, not the device. We can manage that service. So it gives us better granularity on security aspects as well, and improving the security posture of the service. So these containers, as I said, they form the client workspace, or they form the virtual workspace of the user. The virtual workspace is what the user needs on the device to get his work done. So it could be on a certain device, he would just need a certain set of applications to get his work done. And on a laptop, he would get the full spectrum of services based on the device capability. So if we can abstract those layers, we can rebuild them dynamically based on the device model, the device type, operating system, and give them the services that they need. And we see that these virtual containers, this abstraction of components, is an architectural direction that we are taking to enable services, to provide services to our customers within Intel. What I have over here are the 4 different components that we see internally as the items that we'd like to abstract out from the client workspace and provide it to our customers based on the device type. So we have over here all the different models and device types, and all these components form the workspace based on the device type. So we look at mail as an important service. Most of us do mail, I think, most of the time. it's one of the important services that we use. And when I say mail, I do not mean the application only. I mean the data that comes with mail. I mean the archives. I mean everything around the mail solution. If we can abstract the mail solution out, the archives, the data, everything, we can then, based on the device type, we can give that service to you, regardless if it's using a full-blown application or a different application on a different device type. The next is applications in general, or the core application and also the application you need to get your work done. If we can abstract those applications out and layer them, we can then, based on the device type, give you the right set. So maybe on a full-blown Ultrabook or laptop, you get the full installation of applications or virtualized applications. Whereas on a different operating system or different form factor, you would get a subset of those applications developed maybe in HTML5 or different containers that you can provide. And based on the enterprise app store that we have, we can understand the device type and give you the right set of applications. Next is the business data. So today, we are all bundled into the device. The business data is clunked with the device that they're using, and people are using different services like box.net or whatever, and different cloud services where they're moving data across. What we want to do is enable access to business data from all the different types of devices, either have them offline available or online, depending on the device capability and storage solution that those devices have. But we're taking the data out from the client today, abstracting it by itself, and then enabling it on different devices. Lastly, the personalization. We think it is an important factor as part of we look at it as an important virtual container to help keep that usability of the service. Ensuring that we manage the personalization correctly, we can enable our customers to move from device to device of the same type, so moving from a laptop to an Ultrabook and onto a different Ultrabook in the future. We can keep that personalization moving across, or if they move to a VDI solution, we can help that, we can support that with the management of personalization. Or if we manage a subset of personalization for different form factors like favorites and stuff like that. So we see that as an important piece to manage as well as a virtual container. So together, based on the device type, we form the client workspace and give the right set of applications, data, and mail to the devices based on what they are. So what are the benefits from looking at this approach, looking at virtualizing the workspace, looking at abstracting the components? We see it as a way to give our customers, the optimized user experience. So if they are moving from a old laptop to a new laptop to an Ultrabook, they have that continuous migration path, the optimized user experience. They have the same user experience moving across. They don't have to spend time in rebuilding the whole workspace. We can provide that as part of the abstraction. Also, when they move to a different form factor, a different device, they will get that subset of data as well as application. As I said, maybe mail with all the archives, data, they'll get those as well. It enables us to simply provide more support for devices, more support for, instead of managing a single device, we can now provide services to our customers on any device that they want. And lastly, it also enhances the manageability of the solution. We don't have to manage the device. We have just manage the service, the components, and also the security aspects of that. So how does virtualization impact IT? What is the impact on Intel IT when using virtualization? It gives us that device-independent mobility, enabling that flexibility that we saw previously in the day of the life of a user. They could use any type of device they want and get the same service. It reduces the footprint. As I said, we don't have to manage the footprint of the device. We don't have to manage the device anymore, the service. And it's important because we have to take into account also all the whole TCO aspect of managing services or devices. It gives our customers the choice to choose whatever they want. I do not mean whatever, but from all the different devices that they have today, they can choose different types of devices and use it and be productive with whatever they're doing. If they need data to make a decision from a certain device, they will have that capability. And also, from an IT perspective, it helps us to enable new technologies much faster. So when we move from one operating system to the other operating system, it helps us to get that rapidly done, because now we are providing the abstracted layers on a new operating system, and we don't have to migrate everything. Okay, now I'll talk on how security is being utilized, how we can enhance security using virtualization. Now, this concept is it's developed internally within Intel IT, where we are defining a trust level of devices. We are defining every device, we are giving it a trust level based on who you are, where you are, and what type of device you're using. And we have 5 different trust levels over here defined, from trust level 0 to trust level 4. And on the scale we have, for example, on trust level 0 is you're using someone else's device. So you're in the conference, you borrow someone's device, and you want to access some of your resource. We're giving that a trust level. And internally, what we are doing is we are dynamically calculating the trust level of the device every time the device is requesting a service. And based on the trust level, we can then provide the appropriate set of services. The other example is where you have a personally owned device and it's partially managed by the corporate, so we give it a higher trust level. And then going up the stack, when it's fully owned, fully managed, having all the agentry on the endpoint, we're managing that, we give it the highest trust level. So this is what we are doing internally, developing a trust level model and dynamically calculating that trust level every time a device is requesting a service. And how virtualization helps in this trust level model. Because we have abstracted the layers, the different components on the different components of the virtual workspace, based on the dynamic calculation of the trust level, we can now give the right set of services, either a limited set of services or a full-blown set of services to the device. And once again, because we have that capability now on enabling those virtualized compartments to be available, either the business, data, mail, applications. Based on that, we are giving the appropriate set of data and applications based on the trust level of the device. So this is how we see virtualization also as an enabler from our perspective to enhance the security posture of the client, to enhance the security aspects of the client. Okay. User experience across devices. So from IT's perspective, the solutions that we develop, they have to be usable, simple for our customers. Whatever solution we develop, it's a focus from our development aspects to make it simple and usable by our customers. So if we take the customers are doing the FUIT approach, we are taking the UFIT approach. We call it the user-focused IT approach. We are focusing on a customer, understanding the needs, and giving them the right set of solutions that are simple to use. And what I'll talk through you on the next slide are the principles that we are using within Intel IT when we are developing solutions or providing our customers with different sets of solutions. So the first principle, that to be truly mobile and independent and using any device, the first principle that we look at is giving you our customers the consistent experience across the device. So if you're moving, as I said, from one device to the other, giving that consistent approach. We want to give the right set of application based on device capabilities. Do not give that clunky desktop on a touch interface. But on the other hand, using our enterprise app store, giving the right set of applications on the right set of devices. We are building the workspace based on the trust model of the device. So dynamically, we calculate the trust model, and based on that, we are giving the customer the right set of services on that trust level and ensuring that they understand that. So if they want more services, they need to move to a different trust model. It could be location, it could be different device, it could be, but they need to understand that. That's what we're ensuring when we are providing our services. We are dynamically ensuring the access of data across all the different workspaces. So moving from a one-to-many device ratio, ensuring that the data is now synced across all the different devices, either offline or online. They still have that data with them, and they do not have to go and find their own solution or put the data in a different storage location that they could access it from their device. We are providing that service and ensuring that data is synchronized across. And last but not least, we think it's very, very important to provide the complementary set of tools to help our customers to move to this new concept, to this new model. An example that I can give over here is when we are talking about moving data from one workspace, ensuring the data synchronization. Today, they are very C-centric. They are on their laptops. They have all the data over there, all the archives, etc. If we do not give them the right tool sets to move the data and ensure that it's available now that's available across the different workspaces, they will not do it. It's going to be very hard for them. So we are providing the complementary set of tools as well to enable the migration of the personal archives or the data to be available across the different workspaces, and then the synchronization happens seamlessly between the workspaces. So these are the principles that we are using internally when we are developing our solutions and when we are providing them to our customers. Okay, in summary, embrace consumerization. It will happen. If we remember the work-life balance, the work-life flow of today's user, they want that flexibility. They want to use different devices. They want to have access so that they could have a good work-life balance. Strive to provide that consistent look and feel and also the right set of application based on device type. Do not give everything on a smartphone and do not give few applications on a full-blown PC. So understand that and give them the optimized user experience. We see virtualized containers abstracting those layers of the workspace as the direction, as our architectural direction within IT, within the client world. And as we abstract those components, we can ensure that providing that consistent approach of giving them the users, the data, the applications, and the mail. And lastly, the trust model is very important from our perspective, and build a trust model of each device type and give them the right set of services. So with that, I'm done. Any questions?
trust level calculation, is that a third-party tool that you're using, or is that?
No, it's an internally developed.
I've got a question. You've got 4 trust levels. If someone's at the bottom level, aren't you going to get loads of help desk calls saying I can't access my services?
No, as I said that as you use the service, we want our customers to understand in what trust level they are on. And based on that, they will understand that the services that they're getting. So that the solutions that we are developing is making that clear to them when they're getting that service, is telling them that they're in a certain trust level and ensuring that they understand that. That's also part of the training and communication that we are going to do with our customers.
Are there any further questions?
So how is Intel implementing the BYO programs? Is it just, you bring in any device that you want? Does Intel give a stipend? Can you bring your own PC, your own Mac? How does that program look like?
So the BYO program that we have is that you can basically bring in, we're calling it primary and companion. You can bring in any device you want from a companion perspective, and then you get a certain level of application, certain set of applications or data. And when you bring in your primary, you can bring in any PC. Mainly we're seeing Ultrabooks coming in, and also Macs that are coming into the environment. People are bringing in those to use. Excuse me?
So looking at the model, I only get access to all of the applications when I'm then in trust level 3 or 4. How do you define device management of the devices? So what is included in device management? Is this more like traditional image management, or how do you define device management? Do you define device management?
So let's take the, if we go into trust level 4, it's fully managed and fully corporate owned. It depends on the platform that we're using. So if we are talking about a full-blown PC with a Windows operating system, then there are the appropriate agentry that is sitting over there and giving that. If we're looking at iOS or Android devices, we're looking at different MDM services or capabilities that's over there that we are using to manage them as well. So using that, we are defining the trust level 3 or 4. So as I said, it's internally being developed to identify the trust level. There are different mechanisms that are being used. And if you want, we can offline see if it's possible to share that information on how it's being done. I can hardly hear that. Hold on. Give him the mic, please. I can't.
Maybe you could show us the demonstration of different trust level with your account, and you can log in with some different devices which are in this room here.
I don't have that prepared for today's presentation, the demo.
You can come into the Intel booth downstairs. I have my own iPad, so you can see some of the services that are available. You're not going to see like different trust levels, but you can basically go through it all the time.
So can you speak to can you speak to how you're handling the separation of the data? Are you doing that strictly through virtualization, containers of either VMs and apps, or are you having to roll some of your own technologies to be able to do that?
So I think you added a couple of things over here, applications, data. So if you're talking about the separation of data, we're looking at separating the business data that composes of your all the work-related aspects and your personal data. And we're providing complementary tools, in-house developed complementary tools to separate that, to help our customers to scan the data, see what's there, and then make that decision.
Do you find that these trust levels are always suitable for your users, or do you have some circumstances where you have sort of a mix of trust levels
So we just started off with the trust levels, and I think as we get that enabled, we will make changes. So I can say that for now, it's working how we see that trust level, but I think as we go down the road, there'll be changes added on.
Will the virtualization ever be baked into the firmware of the chips, or are you using third-party products?
If virtualization is going to be baked into the chipset. I'm from IT, and I'm not from the product groups, so I don't know. we have to find out.
Just, I guess, to cover a question that we mentioned before, that the delivery of the applications,
Mm.
are they virtualized, or how do you deliver the applications? Is that part of the container, or is that application virtualization, or is that just part of the VM?
So the applications we are using, so for virtualizing the applications, we're using different tool sets. So for Windows platform, we're using different virtualization technologies for virtualizing applications. For our phones and iOS, Android devices, we are using different container approaches to develop and provide those applications. Some are based on HTML5, some are hybrid. We're using both.
So one difficulty, since he works at Intel IT, he has certain restrictions on naming any specific products that Intel IT uses. So he has to keep it high level by saying things like, oh, we use application virtualization. He cannot say which application virtualization tool he's using. There's certain legal requirements that Intel is imposing. Can I, maybe if you come to a booth, Intel booth today, maybe we can talk a little bit more.
Any more questions? The performance overhead depends on so if you're looking at application virtualization on a standard platform, we don't see that performance overhead. We don't see that much performance overhead.